What if you discounting and you trying to reduce your prices is the thing that actually makes it worse for your clients?
Most businesses, when they want to hire, they go to Seek and Indeed. And you and I both well know the people that are usually on Seek and Indeed are not the people you want to hire.
Fuel prices are up. There's stuff going on in the world. There's a cost of living crisis. Like, what do we do?
You seen fuel prices this week?
I did. It's racking up. Certainly higher than it's ever been.
Well, I tell you what, it's cheaper than last week. It's
It's slightly cheaper
slightly
than last
cheaper
week.
than last week. It's crazy time. Like, it's an easy topic that people talk about and complain about. And when I say complain about, as humans, we're just like to sometimes ease towards the negativity or lean towards the negativity. And I think it's interesting, like stepping back and seeing people, how far that transpires. It's sure, it's the fuel prices, and it's very quickly, cost of living's gone up, and now everything in business is so much more expensive, as well as like on the other end, I can't charge as much. Business sucks. It's so hard. But then, you look at other people and they're growing. They're growing in this time, and they're making the most of it. Like, it's an opportunistic time. Not to say like price gouging or anything, but they're just really looking at their industry and going, how can I have a better model? How can I have a better way I approach my clients? How can I have a better way I approach my team members or give benefits to my team members?
I think price gouging is an interesting one, right? Because like the only people that really like were ever really worried about that happening for, or like, is where there's like basically a monopoly, like, or a duopoly, like Woolies and Coles. Like, that's where people kick up a fuss. But like, we're not going to be able to price gouge in our industry, or price gouges like mortgage brokers. Like, price is what people are willing to pay. So like, if you deliver a service in the right way and people are willing to pay that, like, it's not price gouging, because people can go anywhere. So it's sort of like they're looking at you and your price is your price, and they're looking at someone else and they're cheaper. The only reason they're going with you is because they believe you more that you can get it done, or there's like more that you're putting into the offering. Like,
You've got better credibility online, I just
think it's
how you sell your service. Like,
there's just such a weird like mindset for people around like pricing and what to charge. Like, I think people get very worried about like, oh, just the times. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. It's like, yeah, but like, what if you discounting and you trying to reduce your prices is the thing that actually makes it worse for your clients?
Yeah.
Like,
you don't give yourself enough room to do the job properly. And like every business, unless you are selling a product, even then that's has its own issues. But like, unless you know exactly what goes into something, it's only ever going to be 5 hours for me to go start to finish on this thing. And like most service-based businesses, you never know. Like, we not never know, but you can estimate as much as you can and plan for every what scenario. But there's always things that go out of, someone rocks up 15 minutes late or rocks up half an hour late. You have to reschedule. You have the time allocated. It's one of those things you can't charge for if they reschedule, whatever it is. Like, there's always things. So like,
oh, and you know what? We see it all the time on like, community Facebook groups and stuff like that, where someone's posted about, hey, is there anyone that does this thing at a reasonable price? And it's like, they're just looking for like the cheapest option often. And then often you also see in those community groups, people posting about like some job that was half finished or half done and all that sort of thing. Because like, the people that are trolling for like the cheapest people are the people that also like leave jobs. Like, those are the people that leave stuff half done, or like, and you're better off of having paid, 30% more to get it done and know that it was going to happen than, save what might seem like a lot of money, but you get halfway through and it's useless.
It's interesting in our industry because we see this. I think the one that comes up for you and I a lot of the time is around like outsourcing marketing. And you've got, this you know how I feel about the word marketing. You know, there's a lot of things that I believe that fall under the word marketing. You got your SEO, your websites, your billboard advertisements, your campaigns, everything, right? Events, all these things. And there are so many spaces now you can outsource. Like we're one of these people. You can outsource to us around your organic content online and building a brand and visibility. And you can outsource to your websites. And traditionally, businesses would just have your marketing manager. And it's funny, we get compared to marketing managers these days, but there's so many more things that a marketing manager is typically responsible for in a job description. But then there's the realistic thing of what do they actually do when they get inside your business? And do you have the capacity to load them up properly? Or are you loading them up with random stuff that just comes up throughout the day because that's the easiest person to turn to because they're in front of a computer all the time and they should be able to handle that?
Well, yeah, if you look at it, I think like the people that I suppose we would actually compete with are the graduates that people bring in and expect to be able to do stuff in, manage all of the marketing, manage all of the content creation, the social media in 20 hours a week when they don't have experience and like...
It's taking them the time because, they don't have the experience at all.
Yeah, they don't have the experience, they don't have the gear. There's no one there in the business to actually support and train them. So they're just kind of like winging it, for a better use of the word. But it's funny, like you said, we would get compared to like a marketing manager, which I think is really different things. And sometimes it gets like titles often get confused and thrown around. But like we love working with alongside marketing managers typically because they're the people that like we really see as like the creative director, the person who gets like see the vision through for the business and also help organize any events that they want to run or like oversee an email marketing campaign or like oversee an ad campaign, oversee the social media and the content creation getting done. Like that person is there to make sure the strategy and the direction is followed, not necessarily the doer that is needing to be in everything.
You almost become more of a project manager and being able to distill that information back to your leadership team. You're the best one that has the pulse. Like, we say all this not to harp on and bash on junior marketing managers, but it's to be realistic for business owners that when they are choosing that person, like, do you actually have enough work in the work week to fill a marketing manager role? And are you filling the junior because everyone's telling you need to be on social media and this is like the easiest grab option? Or you're actually trying to, focus on the outcome of what you're looking for and go and find the best solution that you're trying to solve?
100%. I think like people, we see it all the time where they bring someone in and they're there for 6 to 12 months and that person has got part-time hours. Like you're not going to be able to retain that person at part-time and then they're going to leave and essentially rip out all of the marketing system, strategy, brain from the business. So like then you go to find another person. You just got to like start over and over and over again. You're not actually like putting together a system that is like building upon itself. It's very funny to watch.
It's interesting.
It's sad to watch, but
it's like when you unpack it though, because I think business owners would go like, oh no, I've got plenty of work for them, or they wouldn't leave. But like when you unpack it, it's like, the person you're telling them to come in for 40 hours a week, but you've really only got like 10 hours a week worth of work. Creatives need to be doing stuff all the time. Like we hate sitting around not doing stuff. And we also hate to do things that we know aren't part of our JD, well, not hate, but you know what I mean? Like they want to work on the exciting stuff they came in for. They don't want to handle the shit graphic post and the crap flyer that they know that's not going to fit inside the strategy, but they're doing because the boss is telling them to do it. So like that's one way creatives will burn out and move on, and they'll learn from your business and get the area, and then they'll scale up into a better opportunity.
I think that's probably the biggest thing, right? Like if you get a really good one, it'll be even harder to retain them because they will have opportunities flying at them. Like, you know, we're not going out there trying to poach anyone, but like transparently, a lot of our front end marketing is to attract talent and attract great people. So like if someone was looking at working somewhere for a few hours a week, doing a little bit, not a lot of creative stimulation, and they can get a full-time job with an agency with more career progression, like that's if they come to us, you know, like there's so many other avenues that they can go to as well that have more progression if they're good. So I suppose like the logic of it is you kind of only retain the people that are there for a short period of time, or like they're good enough so they just kind of tick along.
They fluff about, yeah.
They post for the sake of posting, right?
And
so
that's just one side of the coin on like there's not enough creative stimulation. That's one of the many things. And there's heaps, but the two is like that one, and then the other one of you really like have 60 hours of work a week and you're getting them on for 40. And when they say you've got 60 hours worth a week, you know, there's all the fluff that they shouldn't be doing. You're giving them all that, but then you're also giving them the responsibility of manage the website, manage the email campaigns, do all the organic socials, answer all the phones, do all this other stuff. And then they burn out. And again, they use the experience that they have and they go, I've been able to do blah, 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 and blah. And, you know, you can see that I've done it okay, but I'm going to level up into your opportunity where I only want to do two things. And I've now got the experience because I've learned from these guys and I'll do it really well in your job. So either way, it leads to you losing the person because you need to find the middle. You need to find the middle for that person of balance versus nurturing and growth, which you got to look at and go like, what are you as a business? Are you trying to, you know, are you trying to nurture talent like that in that specific area, like marketing? And a lot of businesses I don't think want to be, but they do it because they see everyone else doing it.
Yeah. And I think particularly now too, when you don't see it working, when and particularly, you know, we talk about like right now, like we're getting so many people asking us around fuel prices are up, there's stuff going on in the world, there's a cost of living crisis. Like what do we do? You know, what should we be doing? And like, we are able to come in with a plan of what to do. And like, you know, and we'll talk about it here openly because I think that it's for everyone to be looking at, and we can talk about it openly because we also know that so many people won't do it. So like, it'll only be the people that are really paying attention. And if you look at what we're doing, we're following our own advice here, but like during these times, people will go and turn off their marketing. They'll fire their like social media person. They will fire their agency
to burn out, whatever.
Yeah. And because they'll be stressed out and they'll ask this person to, you know, put together a plan. This person has no idea how the world works. Like for us, like right now, we're looking at doubling down. Like whilst everyone else is going to be slowing down on their marketing, we are increasing the volume because it's never going to be cheaper from a paid advertising perspective. It's never going to be like easier with less competition than right now and during these times. Like there's opportunity during this stuff. And it's funny because I think some people see it in their own industry of like everyone else is worried, but I see there's opportunity, but they don't expand that out. Like there is opportunity right now to really be doubling down on your marketing when all of your competitors are going to be turning it off.
I think the crazy thing is when you rip that system out, you lose all of the opportunities you don't know about. I know that's easy to say and you go, how do you actually quantify that? But a good one for us is like, we had a massive contract come to us yesterday, landed through the website. I was able to get on the phone with them and chat with them. And it was great. You know, she was a marketing manager and we were able to have a chat and I was able to say like, hey, how did you actually find us? And it's, you know, I saw one of your reels come up on LinkedIn and I followed it a couple of months ago and I saw that you did the Geelong Business Excellence Awards last year And I really wanted to know who was behind that. And then, it was just it was a meeting that we had internally this week. And I found you guys because you came up on LinkedIn again, and I've reached out through the website. This was not someone that we had a conversation with. We didn't know she existed.
Mm.
This is a fantastic, like A+ opportunity for us. We didn't even know it existed. And the only reason it came through is because we stayed consistent across all channels, not just one, Instagram or Facebook, LinkedIn. And we were able to convert her across. So when you rip that sales system out, you're losing all those opportunities that just haven't come across the line yet because they know they're going to use you one day, but it's just not the right time.
Yeah. It's that whole consistency piece, right? Like we're massive on it. It's like, do enough so that you can keep things going. Like if you just turn it off and on again whenever you're feeling like, oh, I just don't want to, I want to reduce my spend right now. It's like you're only ever marketing when times are good, and that just means that, and it's tough in our space too, because it's not like, not paid advertising a little bit different, but with organic content creation, it's not immediate. Like it is that, like the stuff that you do 2 or 3 months ago is what impacts right now. The stuff they do right now will be the stuff that you see happen in 2-3 months time. So like, it's sort of, it is this thing that's hard to fully quantify immediately. We had a client that's just come back on board recently after taking a pause, and they noticed it. They were like, I saw, I thought, oh, there's a lot of stuff going on. I'm just going to like pause and I'll come back at a later stage. And they said that downtime, they noticed it big time. Like that no content going out compared to having been really consistent before. Like it wasn't immediate from like, oh, I can see this person came from this post, but in terms of the amount of interest that they were getting, they noticed it big time. And
it's the old bucket analogy, right? Like you've got holes in the bottom of the bucket. Every bucket does in regards to marketing, but it's how quickly you fill in the bucket. And for that person's analogy, so it's really visual for the creatives listening, is like, the bucket was full. The bucket was full of water and it was draining slowly. And over the 3 months, the bucket completely drained out and there was no more. There was very little coming into the top of the bucket. And it's like you're saying, it's not immediate, but if you're not filling the top of the bucket in some way or filling the top of your funnel or even nurturing the people that are in it, it's just going to trickle out even faster.
Yeah, 100%. And I think right now it's an interesting time for people to be thinking about turning things off. And that's definitely our advice. Don't turn things off. If you are in a position to be able to increase the volume, then do so. And I think the other thing around right now as well is like, what is going to be the best way to position your business right now? Like, whilst other people will look at discounting, at trying to like reduce the value of what they currently do, we are trying to help some of our clients attract more premium clients, sometimes even look at how they can create offerings that actually allow them to charge more for what they do. Like there's all these things we need to be looking at rather than discounting and trying to sit in the middle, because it's the worst place to be right now.
Totally. And I think the other thing too is like a lot of the time people talk about it in finance, compound interest, right? How great the benefit is of compound interest. As a similar sort of thing with compound brand now. Like if you look at some of these creators that have been in the game for so long now, like what are the opportunities that come from you having an established brand over 12 months, over 24 months, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years? Like, did you see Trevor Wallace, the comedian? He is now in a movie, He's a great comedian, don't get me wrong, I love his humor. But he has had a brand for so long now and has so much of a pull that he's been able to have movie opportunities. And a lot of these comedians are, because they all have long-standing brands and they've realized now that they can capitalize on other opportunities with their stardom. The other one is Joe Rogan. He's been able to influence and expedite some research for psychedelics being used to cure mental health. And it's because of, one, the brand that they have and their ability to move the needle in the ways that they want. And that comes from not just being someone that has the ability to, get in front of people. It's the brand power that you have and the influence.
Oh, 100%. I think like if we look at like your small businesses as well, like there's opportunities that have come up for us just out of the fact that like our brand is there. Like we've been given opportunities to run workshops to other people's audiences. A few months ago, I was asked to go on stage somewhere. Like
we had the Geelong Advertiser come to us and wanting to put us in the paper.
Yeah, and like all of that just comes off of like when someone puts our name forward to look at something like this, they go along to our socials, they see that stuff, or when they're thinking about like, oh, who would be good to like speak at this thing or run this thing, and then like they've seen our post, so we're front of mind, like that. Again, that stuff is hard to quantify, and it can be easy to just like switch off because it is hard to quantify right away, but you notice it when you've had it and then you turn it off. And for the people that have never really had it before, like this is absolutely the time to be doubling down, because you can just, if you start building your brand now, when times are good, it'll be so much easier to start to like ramp off of that.
It's funny. It's so topical for me. This morning I was listening to Layla Hormozi's podcast, and she spoke on the whole thing around plan your habits around the worst day. So her thing was obviously exercise. Like plan it around like what's the worst day possible, and then how do you fit your gym routine into that. And it's the same thing with marketing and this sort of stuff. Is if you can plan it and do it and fit it in now, create a system where you only have to create content every 2 weeks or create content every 4 weeks, but you're staying consistent weekly and you're making it easy for yourself, making it easy for the team, and it's quality content that allows you to charge more for what you do or position you as a leader in the space. And there's an intentional strategy behind all of that you do. And you can implement that now, of all times. When it becomes to the good times, you're going to be like, let's triple what we're doing because we've been able to do it in the worst possible time. So, yeah, I think people that use the excuse of, oh, it's just not the right time in the world right now. It's like, hell yeah, it is. Like, you do it now, you will smash it and crush it later on, and you'll be ahead of everyone else. You'll be ahead of everyone else, and you'll have the muscle built at the best possible time.
Well, and as well, if in your own business, you're doing things that mean you're like, oh, this is happening, therefore I need to not engage this service, or I need to like just focus on other stuff. It's like, well, what does that look like for your business then? Like, if you're doing that for yourself, how can you congruently say as well to other people that now's still the right time? Like if you're in property, it's like everyone's scared to buy, but you probably see there's opportunity. If you're in finance, again, everyone's scared, but it's like there's opportunity. If that's what you're going to say for yourself, then congruently to other people, it's going to be very hard to overcome that stuff when it comes up for you. So, and it allows you to, I think the thing that people don't understand around marketing, when they just view it as like, they just view it as lead gen. They just view it as like either an expense. They just look at it as a way to only bring in new customers. But the other thing you get to do with it is like, you get to get your story out there. Like all this stuff that people are saying privately to other people, like you're saying to, let's say you're in property, you're saying to other people that like, hey, I know the media is saying this and it looks really scary, but like there is opportunity right now.
Mm.
You know, when everyone else is fearful, it means that there's less demand, which means that there's opportunity.
Mm.
So, like, you know, look at getting it. Like, you can control that narrative when you're putting out content, when you're actively marketing yourself. So, like, when stuff like this is happening, like, you want to be able to talk to what is actually going on in like people's minds. If you're not doing anything, then you're just leaving it up to them to interpret for themselves, right?
Totally. And like, there's the whole angle as well off the back of the story is, you know, you get to tell your story so other people might want to be a part of it. And I think that's a massive thing that people forget. They see socials as, oh, I'm not going to acquire any clients through social media. Why would I do social media? I'm not going to, you know, I don't see the point in social media. It's like, well, do you have a constraint with team members? You know, do you find it hard being able to find talent, to be able to find quality talent? You put it perfectly the other day. Most businesses, when they want to hire, they go to Seek and they go to Indeed, Seek and Indeed, and they pay for an ad on one of those two platforms. And you and I both well know the people that are usually on Seek and Indeed are not the people you want to hire. You want to go and find A-grade talent that's already in a really good position, that's killing it, that you want to poach across to your better position in your company. Those people aren't on Seek and Indeed. They're happy in their position and they need to see a better opportunity elsewhere. Where are they going to see a better opportunity? Right in front of their faces when they're on lunch break, before they're on their way to work in the morning on the train, and after they finish work when they're scrolling through social media. That's where they're going to see it.
Oh, 100%. And even like, you know, it's like you can look at Kinso, right? The people they brought into their business and as like interns and people that like, you know,
Jimmy,
probably
when
when
people they had apply as when they ran their intern thing.
Not the Kintern thing, but I was just how many people came through?
Oh, it was heaps. I can't remember the, like, but like it was
hundreds.
It was a ridiculous number.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. So like, you know, if you get that many people applying through, how can you not get a good candidate? Like, and people coming to you, like, I think that the difference as well, and like, you know, not that this is a be all end all kind of thing, is realistically like when you pay a salary, like you're investing into someone that you're going to get a return on. Yeah, when you get a quality person anyway. But like, there are people that like, if they're coming to you, like they're choosing to go like, I want to work here. I don't care. Like I'm not as motivated by the money because I can see the culture. I can see where you guys are going. I can see that there's career progress. Like you can highlight all the fucking best bits about coming to work for you, other than it just being like if you go to Indeed or Seek, it's purely about price. Like you are there to just shop. Like what are the roles I can get for the highest price?
It sounds crazy to us because like you and I, we've been in this game now for so long. We've always cultivated culture and enjoyed the places that we build. And it's hard, I suppose, for us to really sit inside the position. But most people complain about their job. I forget this. Like most people finish that, like they cannot wait till 5 o'clock. They cannot wait till a Friday, get on the beers, enjoy the weekend, escape the work week. Like I'd like to say none of our team think that way. You know what I mean? Like they love their job. They love every day. They get to do so much. And because they love it so much, we get better outcomes because they're so passionate about it. But
if we didn't market that, if we didn't make that obvious to other people,
we wouldn't be able to get the people that we have and we wouldn't have the culture that we have. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. It's an interesting, chicken and egg thing. And I think there's definitely something to be said about if you're doing it well, like, why aren't you talking about it? You know, and other people go like, yeah, we've got a good culture. It's like, so we do attract good people. It's like, okay. It's like, what if you could just like amplify that? Like if you could amplify that and get like, you know, you're already getting good applications. Like, could you get twice as many? And would you not be able to pick out better people, potentially pick out better people like that? Because like, we know like the difference between someone that's good and someone that's great is phenomenal.
Totally.
It's a huge difference
Mm.
to the business when you get like A players versus B players versus C players, which again sounds horrible, but it's just the best way to explain it and
Yeah.
categorize people.
Yeah. There's something to be said about having a thriving workspace. It is when you truly are all rowing in the same direction and you are just thriving, it is fascinating to see. And it feels good. Like it feels good as a business owner to be like, we're crushing it. And
Yeah.
like we are talking about it outwardly.
Yeah. And it's good as well. I think like you go along to an event or something like that and people go like, I just love what you guys do. I love what you guys are about. I saw this thing like
Today, like just before we jumped in here, someone's like, "Oh, I saw your videos on LinkedIn. I really like what you're doing. Really like it's like, oh, thanks."
yeah, it just feels like you're people are seeing the stuff that you get to see every day. Like people are, and we talk about in the construction space, like people only see the finished product. They only see it if they drive past or they see the thing at the very end, right? They don't get to see like the ins and outs of how that thing actually came about. And like if it's not documented along the way, it's hard to really get that across to people.
Totally.
So you gotta document this stuff. You gotta get it out there.
Like a simple one, right? For us here in Geelong and Melbourne, like there is so many photos now circulating of aerial photos that were took from planes in like the early 80s and early 90s of the Geelong landscape. It was all farm. It was all farm town before it really, turned into a town. And everyone goes, "Oh, I wish we had more photos of as it got developed." There's going to be another 20 years, 100 years in front of us. So it's like, why aren't we capturing and documenting now? Obviously, we've got satellites and a whole bunch more, but and Google Street View. But it's like there are still all these things that you can be documenting and capturing.
100%. I think that's the important thing to be doing now, so you can, control the narrative, promote what you want to be promoting, particularly for, whatever's going on in your business. Particularly with everything going on, it's a good place. You want to be showcasing strength, credibility, certainty for teams, certainty for clients that like everything's good. And if you turn everything off, then like realistically, you're just waiting for like what are other people thinking right now. You're probably going to jump on a lot of calls with people where it's like, they're giving their objection. You constantly trying to overcome stuff or convince people, but it's like, it's almost too late. Like that's the thing I think people don't understand with what we're promoting and talking about is like, get ahead of it. Cause like, it's very hard to convince someone against what like they're already thinking. I think there's a thing called cognitive dissonance where it's like if you already have an idea, it's very hard for me to try to like change that idea. But if you come to the conclusion yourself, like if you watch some videos and you were like came to your own, oh yeah, that makes sense. Okay, like, oh yeah, there is opportunity right now. Or like, oh, that's why it would be good to make sure that I go with someone that's more established or like, oh, these guys look like a great place to work. Like coming to that conclusion themselves, then when you do chat with them, like you're not having to convince them because you can't convince someone against their will. That's never going to like work out well.
Simple thing for people to action is like go back to your teams after you watch this. If you've made it this far, you had so much context. So it's like go back to your team and ask your team, like, what are we doing to speak outwardly about the great things that we do? And how are we staying in front of the people that know, like, and trust us or are interested in us? And if you don't have a plan, like, get one. And whether that be talking to someone that you are already connected with, someone that you watch online, just go and start a conversation.
100%. And before we wrap up, if you have been listening along so far, what we are looking at doing with this podcast is doing a little bit of a shift. We are going to be sharing a lot more around some of the work that we've done on projects, some of the work that we do with some of our ongoing clients, bringing them on, and we really want to start documenting and showcasing some of the best businesses that we've worked with and done really cool projects from, to give a bit of a behind the scenes look at what goes on with like how we approached a social media strategy for, you know, a real estate agent or a lawyer, or how we went about an event for, you know, a big project. So if you're interested in what that looks like, please follow along. We'll have some really, really interesting interviews coming up soon.
Stay tuned.